So I'm going to take Shine Flash, Final Glam in a can, okay? A serum in a can. Now I'm going to take a razor. That's right, a razor. And I'm going to use a razor on dry hair. But with the Shine Flash, it's going to give me more slip. I'm creating a razor that has 3 types of blades, a 6-gap and a 9-gap. The 6-gap, it's larger gaps. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this hair like this. I'm going to elevate the hair horizontally, and I'm going to cut with the razor perpendicular. So what's happening is this section, the width of this section, the thickness of it, fits into the gap of the blade. So now I've got a cutthroat razor cutting it. Is this making sense, guys? You see that? Not a razor with a guard on it. It's got a guard, but I made it 6 gaps. So think of it like a chunking shear. A 9-gap razor I have in a trio pack is like a thinning shear. Then you have your razor that has a straight edge with a guard on it. But what I wanted to do here was I want to cut this perpendicular. I find when I cut it with a straight edge with a guard, it pulls the hair when I'm perpendicular. So I need more blade. So that's why I'm going to encourage you go to the 6-gap. Okay, now watch what we're going to do. Here, I'm going to elevate this horizontally. She wants to move this to the side. And I want her to be able to move it one side to the opposite side. I want to give her double identity. So I'm going to go through, and for things to move to the side, I need length. If I cut it too short, it won't move. Okay, so I know I need length, so I'm going to go back to her lip area. Now watch what I'm going to do. Blade, that is my entry point. Now watch. That's my entry point. Now watch. That's my exit point. Then now all I'm doing is just sliding and gliding very softly with the razor. I feel it catch into those gaps. Now I'm going to ask Shanna a question. Am I pulling on your hair at all? Not at all. So I got the slip from the Shine Flash and the fact that I've got enough gaps in the razor that I can fit in perpendicular. If you're learning something, say yes. Come on, guys. I need a temperature check. If you're learning something, say yes. I love you guys. All right, here we go. Horizontal section again. Now we're going to change our degree of over direction. Section number 2 now. You've been watching me do it yesterday if you were here with me, and today again. But look how I applied it yesterday to a bob, and I'm applying the same pattern to longer hair. What changed was my dropout zigzag around that ponytail. Here we go, section 2. Section 2 is elevated. 1 is elevated straight out from the head. 2 is over directed to 1. Comb comes underneath, I fold, and there it is there. Okay? Give me a black comb, okay? Now I'm there, there's my entry point, keep my degree of elevation. Now I'm having problems getting to this elevation point. Watch what I'm gonna do. If you'd be so kind, tilt your head forward. Excellent. Now who's comfortable here? I am, okay? Because I can get to the degree of elevation. Now I switched to a black comb because I'm working on blonde hair, and I want to see the extension of the line my fingers are making. Why this industry got into colored combs, I'm confused. Let's bring the integrity back into the industry. Black and white are all you need, my friends. Black and white. And then you need combs. This iron's been on for a while. You need combs that can take heat, that can actually take the heat, that are not going to melt. So if you're doing your straighteners, these are the combs for you. They will not melt. I'm tired of people making things that don't hold up. Okay? Drop the flat iron. You know, take the blow dryer. You better lift that up before I burn the floor. Okay? Take your blow dryer. Watch the Sanvia blow dryer. Throw it on the floor. Okay? Now check out the back of that blow dryer. It's still intact, it's not cracked, and it still turns on. A round of applause for the blow dryer that weighs less than 1 pound. Less than 1 pound. So it's the concept of a hairdresser making tools for a hairdresser, understanding how we work behind the chair and what we're doing behind the chair. 2 to 1. Okay, here we go. And very lightly. The razor is an emotional tool. So the tighter I grip this razor, the more I'm going to disrupt that cuticle. I want you to be very light. Let your wrist roll. Curve it, curve it, curve it. That's why I made that so it swivels. So you can swivel, swivel, swivel. Carve out the hair, guys. Here I go now. Next section. 3 was over to 2, or 2 was to 1. 3 to 2. Now I'm at section 4. Horizontal section across. I'm at the ear area. Always aware of where I'm at. Going to take section 4. Go back to 3. Slice at 3. Okay? Up, and fold and guide and see and stop and head and entry and exit and cut. Watch my left hand. My left hand rolls because this allows me to maintain the tension across the horizontal section. I find that a lot of times I come through, the pocket of my fingers have air back here. Now watch, when I roll that, I close the pocket and I get tension. When you cut perpendicular with a razor, we're pushing the hair back into the weakest tension point of our finger angle. By rolling it, it will maintain tension all the way through when working with a razor. Now, I'm up above the ear. Now every section below that stays here. It stays here. So I'm here. What do you mean, Sam? Well, I'm at 5 to 4, 6 to 4, 7 to 4, and 8 to 4 till I run out of hair. So everything now, when I get to the top of the ear, is over-directed to a stationary position. Say yes if you're with me so far. Okay, good. So now look at how, because I'm over-directing now to a stationary position, what is happening is I am getting longer in the back, and it is falling over that triangle where I took the weight out. So when she touches this is going to get frothy. Why? Because it's not attached. That's the secret behind detaching. So you're detaching for a reason. That is the reason why Victoria Beckham's haircut worked. It's because the crown was not attached to anything. The moment you attach the crown, it didn't get frothy. It was attached. It was blended through. So that's why we've discovered, when you get back to the salon, that is what Sam wants you to tell your clients. I discovered blah, 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 blah. When you say that, they're going to say, what did you discover? I want to know what you discovered. So that's critical, guys. That's why I want you to change the language. Change the language in terms of what we're doing and why we're doing it. The reason we're changing the language, people say, don't mess with the language, Sam. Excuse me. That's why an iPad became an iPod, an iPod became whatever, 4, 5. I mean, these guys, they changed their language for a reason. The industry is where it is because we have broken the rules for a reason. We've broken the rules. Now watch what's happening. Okay? Now it's time for me to start to personalize. Let's take a look at the cut. Okay, you saw what she looked like when she sat. She had all this long hair, had a long angle to it, but pretty much one length. Here's my ponytail in the back. Now watch the weight. Here's the ponytail. Remember, that was that zigzag section around the hairline. Look at the comb Sam made. That's for you to section. Okay, when I take my ponytails out, that goes there, and now I just take it, and there's the elastic. Okay, now watch. Take out my clips. Now watch the diffused layering that I created. There should be no reason why I see a hard line there. Does that make sense, guys? You see that? No hard line. And now watch. Look at the weight that I gave her in the front. Now watch this start to move, and it starts to move back and away. If you're with me, say yes. All right, good. Now, let's start to personalize it. So what do you mean, Sam? Watch what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to switch to a 9 gap now. That was my 6 gap. Let's go to a 9 gap. Okay, that's a 9 gap. There's 9 gaps. Last one was 6, wider. Now what are you going to do, Sam? Well, now I'm going to start to get the movement that I want out of this. Totally get that movement I want, that moving back. So I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to go in, comb it down vertically, take it, and I'm going to just start to swivel and paint. Swivel and paint. Swivel and paint. So I come through, and I swivel and I paint. Swivel and I paint. So I'm actually taking out hair. But what I'm doing is I'm getting I want it to move. I want it to move. So when she does this, this will start to stay back and away from her. That's what I want to do. So I swivel, paint, swivel, paint. So what do you mean, Sam? That's taking out less. As soon as I turn and swivel, I'm taking out more. Taking out less, more. Less, more. Less, more. Take your hand. Feel that. Feel that texture going through. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. Opposite side. Same thing now. Because you can feel the weight inside of there. Remember, all you did was cut your silhouette, point cut into it. So now let's paint out what we want. I want that action. I want action moving back. Moving back. Moving back. Moving back. Moving back. moving back, moving back. So all you do is you just swivel, 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 swivel. Okay, and now comb through. And you can see how much, it's very little that I'm taking out. Let's give her some more lift into the top area here, in this top area. Head forward, take a horizontal section in this top area. Now come through, take your razor, weave your razor just like you're highlighting. Turn it, swivel it down, and now just cut underneath, underneath. So I'm taking just a small amount of hair. Now when she touches this, it gets much more frothy. That's what I'm looking for, guys. I want that sense of Playboy hair. It's almost like she backcombed it. There's this whole Playboy phenomenon that's going on in terms of that. All these girls are kind of like getting in this whole backcombed area, and I want that to look like it's backcombed. If you're with me so far, say yes. Okay, good. Now, take my flat iron and a round brush. Now I'm going to start to give this direction. And this is where you start to educate the client. So I go flat iron, round brush, flat iron, round brush. That in the old days, that would be Sam with a blow dryer doing this. Okay? I'm going to ask that we put the blow dryer down, calm the salon down, and start working differently. Create a sense of enthusiasm. When we create a sense of enthusiasm, you get that enthusiasm. That's what hairdressers need today. So I come through, that would be my source of heat, source of heat, source of heat. See, in order to get something to move, I need to give it bend. So if I want that to move, I got to give it the bend so it moves in that direction. So you can take this and you can make any type of volume you want. In the old days, this would be me, burning it in, okay? Put the blow dryer down, quiet it down, work easier, don't work harder. Watch, there's my bevel, smooth, smooth, smooth. Now, boar bristle brushes. I made boar bristle brushes first before thermal, knowing that thermal was the most popular brush used. But I felt the industry forgot about boar bristle. You see, thermal is for fine to medium hair. Boar bristle is medium to coarse hair. Medium to coarse hair, I want to close the cuticle down. Thermal brushes explode the cuticle. Medium to fine hair, I want to explode that cuticle. Now watch the volume I'm going to get. There's your hot roller. Now look at the iron. In. Why, Sam? Because I kept the casing of these things hot so that you can use this iron as a curling iron. Or I use it to create the heat. That's me burning the heat in again, okay? But I'm just using my iron to do that. Now when I do that, look at the bevel and the bend and the volume I'm getting out of that. Very, very simple. If you're learning something, give yourself a round of applause. Awesome, good. So by going into flat iron, look how it's calmed that hair down. Look at the polish I'm getting out of that. So now what we're doing is we're no longer using our flat irons to straighten the hair. We're using our flat irons to polish the finish. But I want you to put the comb down and pick up a round brush. And what happens with a round brush is you bevel and you polish. Polish, bevel, polish, bevel. Now watch this. If I had fine hair, my hand moves down the iron. I don't need maximum compression. This would be kinky curly hair. If I have wavy hair, I move there. Now, it bothers me to walk in salons and I see this. People like this. Guys, do me a favor. Slow your pass down. Think about ironing your shirt. When you iron a shirt, I used to go like that. Okay? And look at the muscle memory I'm using. Okay? Now I discover, when I talked about flat iron, I'm going, well, wait a minute. That whole principle applies to when I iron my shirt. So now I iron my shirt like this. You see that? And I got compression. And I'm using maximum heat, meaning that I'm on medium heat, but I'm slowing it down so it's getting maximum heat. Are you with me? Say yes. Okay, so it's really important, guys, that we understand that it's all about how you work with your tools. This is a lot easier for a client to do than it is for her to go in and use a round brush. She can get this a lot easier doing this, okay, than she can putting this down, or a blow dryer down. She picks up her section, she puts it in a round brush like this, then she picks up her blow dryer and starts blow drying. Puts the blow dryer down, leaves that section there, and takes another section. True or false? Yeah, we gotta help them. Their life is too busy. Problems and solutions all weekend long here at the Sam Villa booth. Now I come through, now watch me just polish the ends. I polish, 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 Polish. Slow down, Sam. That was my outside voice talking. And I was just being too quick with that. Hey, and look at how I maintain weight. Can you imagine, guys, if I layered that all the way up? That would be really, really fine. Then I'd have to go back in there and start to just establish that length and make it shorter. And that was one thing I said, look, this is a client. She's not a model. She's a client. And I want to treat her as a client. Okay, now, let's take a look at this moving to the side. Move to the side, move to the side. Now watch what I'm going to do. Okay, when I move to the side, I want you to do this when you cut these. The problem with side sweeping fringes is they fall in the client's eye. True or false? Okay, now watch this. Look at that, it falls. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a blending shear now. Take the blending shear. Okay, blending shear. I'm going to take a diagonal forward section. I'm going to step to the opposite side, pull this over, then I'm going to place my blade in diagonally. Why? Because I'm going to cut this shorter and this longer over here. That's going to lead it so it moves back and away from our face. So we're going to place the diagonal line in, but I'm going to weave this like I would a highlight, diagonally. Okay? Then I'm going to close and backstroke. Open, close, backstroke. So I open, close, backstroke. Now the reason I'm doing that, watch, I'll do that right here. The reason I do that, watch this hair up here, watch it. Okay? When you close and you backstroke, did you see the hair above my finger? It moved. So I'm closing on the same spot, but it's never the same line. So I'm getting much more of a diffused edge. What bothers me is to see people with this shear, and they'll go like this. I want texture. Boom, boom. Do you realize you just cut a solid line instead of a halo line? So when you want this softer, I want you to just backstroke on that. Say yes if you're with me. Okay, now let's continue on the diagonal, on the fringe. Diagonal forward, okay, pop to the other side, over directed. So even though we are texturizing, we are still aware of the principle of over direction. We're still aware of how that works. And then I'm aware of, that would be my finger angle. So even though you're texturizing, I want you to remember the elevation, the over direction, your finger angle, all of those things still apply. Just because you're texturizing doesn't mean that you go in there freehand. I don't believe in freehand anymore. It's visual, but it still has discipline and purpose to it. You have to have discipline and purpose. I believe that we are getting back into that, the whole concept of discipline and purpose. Now let's watch the side sweeping fringe now. You saw it. When I took her head down, you saw what happened. Okay, it fell in her eye. Now, watch this. Now, we've taken the weight out, but we left the length. So now when I take her down, can you see that it's not falling in her eye? If you learned something, give yourselves a round of applause with a sense of enthusiasm. Awesome, guys. All right, so now, just a real basic shape, but what I love about this watch, you should see, because it's a rectangle, okay, we should see all of this volume up here, and then this gets slimmer, okay? So now, there is a little moulé inside of that. That angle doing this. That's why this tilts back. Guys, does this make sense? And then that area was that rectangle was layered out, so that's where I'm getting this whole concept of this doing this. Everybody with me so far, yes? Okay, did you learn something on this? Okay, listen now, your applause is not for me, but it's for the beautiful, beautiful Shannon that let me share with you the passion I have right now with each rectangle section. So show her your love. Okay, stand up. Stand up. All right, so what do? We took a zigzag section, okay? So we took a zigzag section here along the hairline, okay? We put all of that into a ponytail. We took a rectangle section here. We cut everything above the zigzag, elevated diagonally, cut diagonally, and over directed to the center of the face. Then the rectangle section. This does not blend, guys. You've got to get this, okay? This rectangle section, it doesn't blend. Look at that. People will go, well, oh, he forgot a piece. Boom. Okay, now when you do that, you lose a sense of degree of softness and pliability. So rectangle section, everything brought from ear to ear, 2 to 1, 3 to 2, 4 to 3. When I got to the ear, everything in the rectangle section came to a stationary guide. Working with a blunt shear and a razor. That's right, a razor, even on this type of texture of hair. Okay, then watch this, Okay, double identity. I want her to pull this back, pull that back over her ear. I want her to put this in a chignon and do this. Okay, then I want you to shake your head really hard. Just shake it really hard. Now out comes a little bob that does this. Now she walks in and she has double identity. She's got that little bob going there. Are you getting this, guys? Double identity. You gotta remember, people are looking for simple things. The ponytail is back. Why? Because this urban woman works all the time now. Ponytail. Teach her different things to do with a ponytail. Create cuts and shapes that have different double identities to it. And that's what I love about this. All right, one more time for her. Show her your love. Okay, Yomi. Thank you. One more time for Shannon. Come on. Come on, love. Okay, now watch. Okay, now let's go back.